all, welcome back, or if you're new to the show, also a very big welcome. Today we got a quite big diecast model, and I'm gonna grab the box here. It's gonna take up most of my image, unfortunately. Not that you guys want to see me, I'm pretty sure you guys want to see a model. This is a Corgi B-17 from Boeing. Really cool model. It's a Coastal Command plane, so the bottom is mainly white and the top is camouflaged. I'm not going to hold the box more sturdy than this because I'm afraid that the model will fall out because they're quite heavy. But we're going to dig into this one today. We're going to check it out. We're going to put it on its stand, on its wheels, see the paint up close, and also give you guys a bit of a taste. Is this something you would like to collect? Because they're quite big. Alrighty guys, please bear with me. This box is gigantic. Now, as I mentioned, the Coastal Command plane has a lot of cool details on these. I believe, let me quickly have a peek. Let's see. There's a model from around 2003. So it's a nice tight 20 years old, maybe even older. The boxes are quite sturdy. Just the cardboard that starts to wear after time. Well, let's put the pieces a bit aside. It has a nice little certificate on top. It's still sticking to the frame. This was number 1117 out of 1900 units made. So if you guys want to read, feel free to pause here. But a very cool looking model, that's for sure. The box has been modified a little bit, so there's been some foam added. This was original, by the way, so it's quite funny. Let's see if we can get this thing out of the way. Now, of course, I inspected it shortly at the local hobby store. It is a used model, of course, but it was still looking in quite pristine condition. It's mainly always the antenna that you need to be very careful of with this one. As you can see, it's already bended a bit down. What is very cool is that everything is movable. So we're gonna take this thing out. I'm gonna also take the stand out right away, because we're gonna put it on stand while we're filming, so that it's not in our way. Everything was back then always nicely packaged, I have to say. I wished I had the camera a little bit higher than this, but for now we're gonna have to do with what we have. The stands are quite good in general. The only thing I don't really like about these cradles, they have this little bit of a whipping pitch. So what you can do is grab some pliers and pull them a bit together. It makes it a bit more tight, or put some material in between. But in general, your plane will always be lopsided a little bit. So let's say hanging a bit more to one side or another. The stand is quite sturdy and strong, but one thing that I always recommend everyone, when you're picking up this model on its stand, make sure that you don't pull on the feet, because it will fall off and then boom, this will fall on the ground or on a model. So always be very careful, but the stands are, as you can see, quite decent, heavy material. Now, the model itself, there is not many parts to it, I believe, mainly wheels. So we have some wheels in and wheels outset. Let me see if I can get them all out. Give me a sec. They're metal, so that's really good. And I believe, let me check. These are some hatch parts for the rear. That's the rear wheel, front wheel, and another front wheel. So we have the wheels up, and they're rotatable, by the way, so that's really cool. There's not much detail except for on the back on the rim, because usually these had a lot more detail on the real plane, as far as I know. But at least they're metal, so that's quite good. There has been an era production where they had some plastic in there, and that was mainly on like Lancasters and so on. Then of course also the rear wheel and two setups, so that's super good. Now let's get this giant out, because it is a giant, absolutely. It is actually one of the bigger type of planes that you can get from Corgi. I might need to get the box out of the way even. So have a look, it's quite impressive, and I really love this camo. I think the nose has been bended once or twice too many, but it's a gamble that you're gonna have to take with these models, because these things are very sensitive. There's multiple that have antennas on them from World War II era, but this one is one of the worst that you can have, together with Coastal Command planes. So the Bombay, it's very cool, by the way. Let me show you guys. There's a complete rack of bombs in there. Also, flaps are movable, so the bottom flaps. And on the rear, there's nothing movable, unfortunately. Some engine details. The white is quite cool. Also, what you can now right away check always is zinc rot. You would see now paint flaking. Now, luckily, this one doesn't have it, but there are models that have it, so it's always good to double check if you pick up a model. Turrets are movable. Even the guns are movable, so they have the ball turrets. Can you imagine being in one of these things in like a crouching position you get shot at? I cannot imagine. It must have been terrifying to be a tail gunner or something else. I thought the rear flaps were movable, by the way, but not. Of course, the door details are really good. And of course, a B-17 Corgi stamp logo. Navigator is visible in there, or belt feeder. I don't know what these purposes of everyone is, but even in the nose, there's a pilot figure, and also in the pilot seats, of course. Even a gunner figure in here, and also completely movable again. Props are movable, also very sensitive, so always be very careful. Now, how would this look in flight mode? By the way, there's one thing that sometimes happens. The mold sometimes is a bit tricky. But in general, a very cool mold and paint. Just not the best one out there, let's say. It's not fixed even later down the road, unfortunately. Now, I always have to figure out a little bit with the stand. I hope that I don't knock you guys off the camera. I need to have a look at the ball turret. The ball turret needs to be free. So this is how it would look on the stand. And as you can see, with my hand next to it, it is quite an impressive model to see. It's gigantic, to be honest. Very cool details. But yeah, you guys can be the judge of that. I'll see if I can make a little bit of a filming. I got the rotation table running a little bit. But we'll also now put it on the landing gear just to have a quick look at that. I constantly need to watch out for that little antenna because it's really annoying in the way. Now to put it on its wheels, it should be quite straightforward usually. Now I'm not saying that I'm the expert at B-17s. I only own 2 right now, so this is number 2 in this case. But I think I already have it the wrong way around. I need to figure this out quickly, but yeah, you guys can be the judge if I did a great job or not. It's always annoying when you're putting assemblies together that you don't put together every day. Let's see if we can grab her. She's a handful, that's for sure. That's one wheel. And this should be the second wheel. So I had the wheels flipped 180 wrong. And then, of course, we have a little rear wheel. Which I assume is quite sensitive, by the way, because it's really tiny. Now, doesn't mean that something, when it's small, it's fragile, but this looks really fragile and scary at the same time. Now, let's see how it looks on the wheels. Still very impressive, by the way. So I really need to move my cam constantly up and down. This one is going to go on stand in my cabinet. It's going to go in my private collection. But look at this, it's really cool. See if I can zoom in a bit for you guys. If I can get it done with the gloves on. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, a very nice, cool looking model. The details, especially the pilot details, are really nice. But then again, if I look at details like the framework, the diecast, I would say it's a rather poor decision. And then considering that you pay quite a hefty price for these planes, I saw one online today for €220 in the UK. It's a choice. Also, local hobby store, another one that I used to go to a lot, has it for sale for close to €300. Now, these are choices that you can make. They're going to be your own choices. I paid around €100 with some trades that I did with these people that sold this to me. I think 100 is plenty for a plane like this. But Coastal Command planes usually are quite popular. So that's something you have to be careful of. I'm going to prep this thing for stand with the wheels folded in, and I'll see you back in a sec. Alrighty guys, so I had to lift you guys up with the ring and completely get you on top of this plane. So I got my stand working. It's a loose connection in the electrics, I noticed. But look at this, it's a very impressive plane to see. Now the B-17 in general is already a very impressive bomber, but in the Coastal Command colors, extra cool. So I hope you guys like this. Please like, share, subscribe. leave a comment. It's always very welcome, and hope to see you guys next time in the next video. Thank you and stay safe.